share my screen with you all. And I'm going to start with this hand that we played last week. I sent this out in email as a problem for the defence. And this was board 14 from last Thursday. And the recommended bidding on this was that South has just enough to open 3 spades, a weak preempt, and that may be passed out. It's very hard for East-West to bid here, and maybe 3 spades would be the final contract here. If I have a look at the Traveller, you can see that quite a few people did play it in a spade contract. Some bid and made 4 spades, so they actually made 10 tricks there, 3 spades plus 1, 4 spades making, 2 spades plus 2, and there were a variety of other contracts. Some played it in 3 no trump East-West, some made it, some went down. But according to the computer, it says that the most that North-South should be able to make is 2 spades, in other words 8 tricks. But everyone who played it in spades actually made 10 tricks. So I thought we'd have a look at that one and see how it should be defended. So here is the hand where South opens 3 spades and West is on lead, and West I think has a fairly clear-cut lead of the ace of diamonds, 2-card sequence, and down comes dummy, and you can see there's not that much in dummy, although they've got 2 aces and a couple of spades. So let's suppose you start off with the ace and then the king of diamonds. It seems fairly reasonable to take the first 2 tricks. Now is the key point for West, because what you can see in dummy is that you've taken 2 diamonds and now there are no more diamonds in dummy. So it's quite possible on this hand that South has still got another diamond or 2, and you also know that you can beat those diamonds because the ace, king, queen and jack of diamonds have all gone. So if South does have any more diamonds, you'd be able to beat them, except Declarer may be able to ruff them in dummy. And any time like this, you see that there's a shortage in dummy, or the bidding suggests that there's going to be a shortness in dummy like this, you should be thinking about leading a trump. And in fact, if I click on the GIB button here, it will tell me that I can defeat this contract by 1 trick if I cash the ace of spades and actually carry on with another spade, because that will get rid of the spades from dummy. If I lead any other suit, Declarer will actually make an over trick there, because they'll be able to ruff diamonds that they have. So your play at this point should be definitely, once you can cash your ace king, that's all right, but after that you need to draw trump. So you need to play your ace of spades and then another spade, so that there are now no more spades in dummy, and any diamonds that Declarer has, you'll be able to beat them. So if we just bring up the 4 hands at this moment, these are the 4 hands, and you can see that Declarer does have 2 losing diamonds in their hand, the 6-5 of diamonds, and he should lose both of those because there's no way to get rid of those losers. Apart from that, Declarer's not going to lose anything else because he's got 2 aces to go with the 2 singletons and all trump. But with the best possible defense, he should lose 2 diamonds at this point. Now, Declarer could play this hand in a variety of ways, and he might, for example, draw that last trump. And a lot of Declarers on a hand like this will have a great urge to start ruffing the hearts and ruffing the clubs. But if you do that, you are doing what I've talked about many times before, ruffing in the hand with the long trumps, And although you can ruff hearts and although you can ruff clubs, it will not lead to any extra tricks. In fact, it will help the defence to know what to hang on to. A lot of declarers will play this like this. They might sort of play the ace of hearts and then ruff a heart. Now all they've done there is tell West that they've got no more hearts. And if they do the same in clubs, play the ace of clubs and then ruff a club, again, they're telling West exactly what they've got left in their hand, that they've got no hearts, no clubs, and all they've got are spades and diamonds. So if declarer now, for example, plays another trump, West knows that he can discard a heart, he can discard a club, but he must keep his diamonds, because that's what declarer's got left. So we can just throw something away, okay, throw a club away, and played this way, declarer should lose 2 diamonds. So if he plays a diamond, you would maybe play the 8. Your partner overtakes, has to take it with a 9. He can leave back a heart, which declarer will ruff, but at the end, South will be left with the diamond to lose. So the best defence there will hold declarer to 8 tricks. And it's actually very hard for West to know what to discard here, but if declarer helps him by ruffing the hearts and ruffing the clubs, then he should definitely keep the diamonds at the end and will stop declarer making any tricks in diamonds. Anyone have any comments or questions on that?
Yeah, how should South play it then?
Well, very good question. South should, so if we get to the point where declarer, if the opponents draw trumps, South, you can draw your the last trump, and then as South, I would suggest you just play off all your winners. Don't do any ruffing. Just play off your spades. Play off say 3 of your spades. Take your aces, and at the end, make sure you'll be leading from your hand. And as you play off these trumps, right? If I start playing my trumps now, West won't necessarily know what to discard, and they may well end up discarding a diamond, or even 2 diamonds. And if they do discard the diamonds, then you'll have 2 diamonds at the end. So declarer should absolutely not help the opponent. Just cash your winners. You're not losing any tricks in this. You're just playing off your winners, giving West a chance to discard the wrong thing. And left to his own devices, he probably will discard the wrong thing. But if you help him by ruffing hearts and ruffing clubs, then he really should hang on to his diamonds. Any other comments on that?
Tony, is the reason West didn't take the 2 diamonds earlier was it would give declarer a chance to discard from dummy?
Say that again.
Why couldn't West take those 2 diamonds?
Oh, he never got the lead. So
once he got it with his drawing trumps.
Yeah, well, he got him with the ace, and now he's going to lose the lead.
Oh, sorry. Okay.
And now he never gets in again.
Oh, sorry.
So
okay.
you're right. If he had got in with a high card, then it would be a good idea to possibly to cash your diamonds.
Yes. Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
Okay. So that is the topic today. This is one of the situations where the defence should either lead a trump or, once they've seen dummy, switch to a trump. And there are actually 3 important situations when the defence should consider leading a trump or switching to a trump after they've seen dummy. And the first of those is what we've just looked at, where declarer may have some losers in a side suit in their hand that they may want to ruff in dummy. And that's especially useful if, as in the previous example, you have some strength in that suit, and dummy may only have 2 or 3 trumps. Now, you won't always know how many trumps dummy has, but sometimes you will see it after you've led. So on that hand we just looked at, you didn't know the situation, but once you'd cashed 2 diamonds, you could see that declarer might well want to ruff any more diamonds, and you had the ideal holding to stop that. Because dummy only had 2 trumps, you were able to draw them both and prevent those ruffs. So that's an important one when the defense should consider leading or switching to a trump. Another one is as a safe lead. There, we'll look at a hand in a minute where you lead a trump as a safe lead, one that is unlikely to help the declarer. And the third important time when you should consider leading or switching to a trump is when the opponents seem to be sacrificing against you. In other words, where you have the majority of the points, but the opponents have maybe outbid you, maybe they've doubled, and maybe their best chance is to do a lot of ruffing. And you may be able to prevent that by leading trumps or switching to a trump at some point. Okay, so we'll have a look at a few of those examples. If we switch back to the hands, let's have a look at this one. And again, we were looking at this from the point of view of West, where the bidding has gone 1 spade, 2 spades, 4 spades. And this is a kind of situation, whereas West, you'd really rather not be leading at all. Because if you think about it, you're fairly strong, you've got 12 points. South is very strong, they presumably have something close to 19 points. And North doesn't have much, North has got 6 to 9 there. So anything you lead may well help declarer. I mean, consider leading a diamond, for example. It's very likely declarer's got the king of diamonds, and similarly in clubs. If you lead a club, it's very likely declarer's got the queen. Hearts is not much better either, because you'll be leading away from your queen, and you may well help declarer avoid a heart loser if you lead that suit. So this is a kind of hand where you'd probably not like to lead any of those, but you have a relatively safe lead, which is a trump here. And you lead a trump here just to avoid giving away anything to declarer. Okay, so let's lead the 2 of spades, and down comes dummy, and let's suppose declarer wins that with the ace, and suppose they draw trumps, and it takes 3 rounds of trumps. And now declarer's in dummy, and they lead a club. They play the queen from their hand, and they're obviously finessing there, and you take the king, and now you're back on lead again. And again, you have to lead. And the situation is very similar to how it was when you started out, except you don't even have a safe lead of a trump left now. And any lead could help declarer here, but probably the safest lead is to lead the suit back that declarer has just played. I know this is a slightly strange play here, but you are basically playing as passively as possible to try to get tricks with your high diamonds and maybe your queen of hearts. So you don't know exactly what to lead here. Let's suppose you play a club back, and your partner has the 10, fortunately, so that forces out the ace. Okay, so that's good. In the sense now that your jack and 9 could make tricks, or you can make at least one trick perhaps. And now declarer leads the jack of hearts. And this is the moment you should have been preparing yourself from the moment you saw your hand, because declarer has led the jack towards the ace king in dummy. If they had led a low heart, you would have just played low, but when they play the jack, you should cover an honor with an honor here, because it might promote a trick for your partner. It's not going to promote a trick for you, but just consider if we bring up the 4 hands at this point, what you're hoping for is that your partner's got something like the 10 of hearts over there. And if you don't cover an honor with an honor, declarer will win the jack, then cash the ace king, and you won't make any hearts at all there. In fact, again, if I click on the GIB button, you can see it will make a difference of 2 tricks there as to whether you, depending on whether you cover the honour with an honour. If you play low, declarer will make the contract, or could make the contract, but if you play the queen, declarer could be defeated by 2 tricks. So declarer will win that if you cover that. He might try a heart, but your partner will gain the lead there. And although it was a bad idea for you to be leading diamonds here, it's a fine thing for your partner to be leading diamonds because they're leading into dummy's weakness. So if they lead a diamond here, it successfully traps declarer's king.
Yes.
And you can take the ace, you can take the queen and the 10. Well, declarer ruffs that, but all declarer can do now is draw that play his last trump and lose 1 club at the end. So you defeated that contract there by playing very passively, starting by leading trumps and then trying not to lead anything that would help declarer. Anyone have any questions on that?
Yeah, Tony, can I ask you something?
Go ahead.
I just wanted to know about the rule of 11, because when you said about playing the hearts, when do you use the rule of 11?
That's not related to this. What I said was when we play the hearts, when the heart is led, we should cover an honour with an honour. If the jack of hearts is played, you should cover the jack with the queen. So that's not really relevant to what you're asking about. Okay, it's just a matter of covering an honour with an honour. This one, though, it's not always right to lead a trump, of course. This is one situation. I often see people in some situation like this. West is on lead, and I see some Wests leading, a singleton spade here, and I sort of want to interrupt them and saying, "Why are you leading a singleton?" It's not because it's a singleton trump, so it's not like you're going to do any roughing with it. In fact, leading a singleton trump in a kind of normal bidding sequence like this can often help declarer, because if you're short in spades in the trump suit, it's quite likely that your partner has some length in the trump suit. In fact, if I bring up the 4 hands on this one, we can see that if you make the mistake of leading a spade here, then your partner's queen is going to get trapped. So declarer will play low from dummy, and if your partner plays a queen, of course, it loses. If they don't, then he can win that one with the jack, and now your partner won't make the queen of spades. In fact, if you have a look at this from declarer's point of view, you can see that declarer has got, what's he going to lose? He's going to lose 2 clubs, a diamond. In hearts, he can try a finesse, which succeeds, so he doesn't have to lose a heart. And he may or may not lose a spade. He may or may not lose to the queen. The normal way to play the spades with 9 trump is actually just to cash the ace and the king. And then you can see if you did that here, you would lose to the queen. So don't lead a trump. Leading a singleton trump is generally a poor choice, especially in a kind of normal bidding sequence like this, where your partner may have some length in the trump suit. Okay, any honours he has will be exposed by your lead, and he won't be very happy with you. Any comments or questions on that?
No.
All right. Let's have a look at another one here. See if we can figure out the bidding. South here opened 3 diamonds. That was a weak bid. You doubled, which was for takeout. You've got a perfect hand there to double 3 diamonds. North, however, jumped to 5 diamonds, and your partner doubled that. And that's the final contract. Now, that second double is a penalty double. They're bidding at the 5 level, and you should realize that that is a penalty double, and your partner thinks you can defeat 5 diamonds. Now, let's suppose you make the normal lead here, of, let's say, the ace of clubs. And down comes dummy, and you can see, you can see that there are three diamonds in dummy. You can see that long club suit. The thing that I see very clearly on their hand is that singleton spade. Declarer has got 7 diamonds in their hand, presumably. There's 8, 9, 10, 11. So your partner's got 2 diamonds, but Declarer presumably has some length in spades, right? Unless he happens to have a singleton, which doesn't seem that likely, he surely has some spades, which he's hopefully going to try to ruff in dummy. So if you lead the ace of clubs, then regardless of what your partner signals, this is another time to switch to a trump. And although I was saying earlier it's often not a good idea to lead a singleton diamond, this is rather different, because here you know that Declarer's got 10 diamonds, 7 in his own hand and 3 in dummy. So you're not really going to be exposing any honours in your partner's hand, but you want to try to prevent Declarer from ruffing spades in dummy. You should realise he almost certainly has some spades he'd like to ruff in dummy, and you should try to prevent that by switching to a diamond. And your partner, if they're lucky enough to have an honour like the ace here, they should cooperate with this plan by winning the ace and playing back another diamond. Okay, and you can't draw all the diamonds from dummy, but you've drawn 2 of them, and now Declarer, I don't know if you can see, is left with these 3 spades in their hand, which they're going to lose except for one of them. So all Declarer can do is cash the ace of spades, ruff a spade with his last diamond from dummy, but at the end he'll be left with spades that he's going to lose. So he may well play off all his winners, but at the end he should lose 2. He should lose 2 spades. Okay, so you can't draw all the trumps, but it still makes a big difference. In fact, if we go to the point here where you've just cast your first ace of clubs, if we bring up the GIB button, you can actually see that the only way to defeat this contract, which defeats it by 2 tricks, is to now switch to a diamond. Any other lead, Declarer can actually make 5 diamonds, because he'll be able to ruff all his spades in dummy if you give him the chance. Okay, any questions on that? So that's the second situation of drawing the opponent's trumps when they seem to be sacrificing against you. Okay, let's have a look at this one. And here the bidding has gone 1 heart, 1 spade, 2 diamonds, 2 hearts, all passed. And you're on lead here. Now, before you choose a lead here, let's have a little think about what we know about the hand here. South here opened a heart and then bid 2 diamonds. So that should be promising 2 suits, presumably at least 5 hearts and at least 4 diamonds. And North had a preference for hearts. We don't know exactly how many hearts they have, not that many, probably 2 or 3. But what is clear from that is that North prefers the hearts to the diamonds, or has equal preference, but you should realize that North is likely to be relatively short in diamonds. And the other thing on this hand is that you have 4 diamonds yourself. So you know that Declarer doesn't have 4 diamonds that they're going to be able to to cash. You know that Declarer almost certain, who started with at least 4 diamonds, must have some diamond losers, that he's presumably going to try to ruff in dummy, because dummy is known to be short, relatively short in diamonds. So if you put all this together, the fact that North has preferred hearts, North is short in diamonds, and that you have relatively good diamonds, this bidding sequence calls out for a trump lead. Okay, a trump lead to prevent declarer ruffing his losing diamonds in dummy. So you should lead the ace of hearts on this hand. Okay, and once you see dummy, you see that declarer has got just 2 hearts and 2 diamonds, and you should do what you can here, which is carry on with another heart to prevent declarer being able to ruff diamonds. Okay, so if I bring up the 4 hands at this point, let's just have a look at it. Declarer's just got in now, and you can see that, as predicted, declarer has got 2 diamonds here, which he otherwise might have tried to ruff in dummy, but you prevented him by switching to a heart. So declarer might now draw the last trump. Okay, and they divide evenly here, and he's got those 2 diamond losers. By the way, as West here, you always need to remember to keep length with declarer here. You need to remember that declarer promised 4 diamonds by their bid, so you're going to keep your diamonds here when other suits are being played. Now, suppose declarer instead plays spades. He's trying to establish a spade suit. Your partner wins that one with the queen, and they might switch to a diamond, even though that was a suit that declarer bid. He's leading into dummy's weakness, so that might be better, definitely better than leading a spade, which might help set up the spades, and also better than leading a club, which might help declare as well. So a diamond is a good switch there. Declarer might play a spade again, and if East wins that, East now needs to be careful that, because dummy's spades are now all established. So East needs to be careful to stop declarer getting to those spades. It looks like they're established now from East's point of view. So if he plays a diamond here, declarer can win that. Declarer might now try a club, and if they play the king, East should probably not win it, because if you win it, you'll allow the queen of clubs to be an entry to dummy. So let them win the king of clubs. If they play another club, you can win that one to prevent the queen from making a trick, and now you'll maybe lead another suit. If you lead a diamond, your partner will be able to take 2 diamond tricks now that the trumps have gone, and declarer will make the rest, but will be held to down 1 there by good defense. Okay, so I hope that makes sense. The idea of leading a trump in this situation is that you've got a good holding in declarer's second suit, in his side suit, so you know it's not going to run, and you know also from the bidding that North is likely to be quite short in diamonds. Okay.
Yeah.
So it's the only thing I want to say is it's not always right to switch to a trump. Let's have a look at a slightly different hand where it's gone 2 spades, 4 spades, and you start off, say, with the ace of diamonds, and you take your king of diamonds, and superficially this is a bit like the one we looked at earlier, but what's different about it is that declarer and dummy have a lot of trumps between them. Declarer has started off with 6, and there are 10 in 4 in dummy, so with 10 trumps you won't be able to prevent declarer ruffing diamonds. If declarer has diamond losers, he'll be able to ruff them. You won't be able to draw trumps because you've only got 2 and declarer's got 10 here. So even if you could draw 2 rounds, it would still leave 2 trumps in dummy. So this is not the hand to switch to a trump here. That won't really help. what you want to do is maybe try and establish a trick in another suit. And you might well try something like the Jack of Hearts, hoping that your partner will have the king over there. Okay, but I hope you can see that trying to draw trumps on this hand wouldn't do any good. Even though Declarer's got 2 diamonds in their hand, they'll always be able to ruff them if they need to in dummy. Instead, you might try a different lead, trying to lead maybe a heart. Declarer can actually still make this contract, because if they play the ace, even though that sets up the king, they might now play their 3 clubs, the ace, king clubs, and that gives them a chance to throw away a heart. Okay, so now when they draw trumps, East might try to cash the king, but Declarer has already discarded it, heart. So we'll make the contract now. Declarer can ruff a diamond, maybe draw the remaining trumps, and he can ruff another diamond, and now it's down to trumps. So it turns out you can't actually defeat this contract, I think. I think Declarer's always going to make 10 tricks on there. But at least you made your 2 diamonds and your ace. You gave your partner a chance to make a trick with the king, but Declarer can avoid that, depending on how they play it. But that, I just put that in as an example of a hand where it doesn't make sense to switch to a trump, just because Declarer's got so many of them. Any questions on that? I hope you all followed that. But I'll just end by putting that that slide up as a reminder of situations where the defence should consider leading or switching to a trump. Those 3 situations we've just looked at, the first one, and then as a safe lead, or when the opponent seems to be sacrificing against you. So, so that's the end of the talk today. If there are no more questions, I'll end it there, and I'll hopefully see you all online. The game has opened up. I see some of you are sitting there, and we'll see you all later on.
Thank you, Tony. Would you pass this? Would you share this with us? I know it's only
Yeah.
one.
Yes. I'll make sure there's a slide or of this. Yeah.
Thank you very
Okay.
much.
Bye bye then. Thank you all very much.
Thank you.